released into freedom early, only because behind these walls the system is at breaking point.
This place is crowded in there, man. It's crazy, man, yeah?
As soon as the space comes up on the wing, whatever wing you're on, whatever space comes up, it's filled within minutes.
There wasn't one space on the wing, not one space.
It's a chance to turn their lives around or go back to their old ways.
Do you think you've turned your back on crime?
Yeah, 100%. 100%.
You guarantee you won't be back in?
Yeah, man, nah, you're not going to see me back here still.
You have to rehabilitate yourself in there.
Yeah?
I did that. I changed, yeah.
I don't want to reoffend. I don't think I reoffend, like, as in committing crime, but getting recalled, probably 99%, yeah.
What he means is he expects to break his parole conditions and get sent back. And how often that happens is just one variable that will determine whether this scheme can turn around the woeful situation in our crowded jails.
This couldn't be more unpopular with the public, but the Justice Secretary told me that the alternative was unthinkable. Doing nothing would break the justice system because judges wouldn't be able to sentence new criminals because there would be nowhere to house them.
But releasing hundreds of prisoners applies pressure in other places.
Our members would do their level best to ensure that public safety is paramount in processing an early release, but I can't stand here and say it's not without risk. So one of the problems is that we weren't widely consulted or appropriately consulted on the mechanics of the scheme.
The early releases happen in two batches, those with sentences below 5 years released today, longer sentences in late October. Two pinch points on the system.
Like the other prison officers just told me, they said, like, the prisoners they're letting out now are taking up all the CAS housing. So I think it's 22nd of October when they're letting out the rest. There's no housing for them.
Housing released prisoners is a key issue, and one reformed drug addict says her release without a home is putting her at risk.
All the work I've done on myself is just going to fall for nothing, and I just feel like prison's supposed to rehabilitate her. I've done the work to change my life, rehabilitate myself. But if I'm getting put back on the streets, then it's all for what?
For most crimes, there is a victim, and while terrorists, sex offenders and very violent criminals will not be released, charities warn that some domestic abuse offenders are coming out.
We know that not all domestic abuse perpetrators will have been exempt from the scheme, so some will slip through the nets, as it were, and will be released early. And this is a really worrying time for survivors of domestic abuse.
Inmates have discarded their prison clothes, but will they change? The Chief Inspector of Prisons described this scheme as risky. Will it be a risk worth taking? The government says it had no choice. Jason Farrell, Sky News.